All right. So let me share some info and background for our lecturer and presenter tonight, Sifu Lim's. Okay, Sifu Lim's full name is Lim Chin Khee. He is graduated from University Preponium, Malaysia, UPM, Bachelor of Agricultural Science. He is a very well-known durian expert in Malaysia and across Southeast Asia. He had more than 20 years of experience in the durian industry, especially on the cultivation and research of durian. He is also one of the main consultants for several big durian plantations in the country of Malaysia, Thailand, and Indonesia. He is also known as the master trainer for durian cultivation by the Federal Agriculture Marketing Authority, or FAMA. Now, let us see your comment. Wow, there's a mix of 1 and 2, Mr. Lim. 1 and 2. Okay, so without further ado, let us begin the lecture and welcome Sifu Lim.
Okay, thank you, Chong Han. Good days, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, thank you, Avansia, for inviting me. It's an honor to give me a chance to share this durian pest and disease management. So this is one of the quite important part of the durian cultivations. After we grow up the tree big, and this is the time when we harvest to ensure that we have maximum and optimum harvest during this cultivation of durians. So actually, if you want to follow me more details, you can always go to my Facebook or my FB Durian Academy page. So I would like to share more details on this durian is regarding durian cultivation, especially in the route that the experience we accumulate to the Musang King planting, especially throughout the 20 over years. Communicate with this route farmer and visiting their farms. So that's why route also been renamed to Banda Durian Musang King, the town of Musang King, and it's already well known not only in Pahang but in Malaysia and also in Southeast Asia or even in China, Taiwan, Hong Kong, and all over the world. So when we talk about this pest and disease, we want to make sure that we can have maximum productions and to prevent the crop loss, especially being attacked by the pest and disease. So the most common method that we are using to control this pest and disease are through the few methods. One of that we are practicing is biological control, our farm gardening culture, chemicals, and of course integrated. So if we looks on the pest and disease, if we fail to do it, we may lose it. If you look on the picture, that plenty of durian been thrown away due to the pest and disease, or we can make plenty of money if we can produce grade A fruits. So we start with the biological control. So normally biological control that will be involved the predatory insect that actually feed on the pests to control the numbers. And another way that we can, and this is this occur naturally, or we can actually cultivate it and release it on purpose to control the pests. So through the biological control, this is some of the examples like the mites, like the ladybirds are using to control. This is one of the natural predator that they actually feed on the pest. So normally we don't assume that all the insect actually is a pest, but in fact some of them actually some insect they're eating on other insect. So for the biological control, it's quite cheap to use it in long term, and it doesn't harm the environment, and also it doesn't kill the beneficial insects. But the weakness of this biological control, it requires some time before it can act, especially you need a numbers of pests to develop. Then only the predator can take replace, or the parasite can only start to kill the pest. But this way of method is quite expensive to develop and to handle. So we all know that biological control being practiced by certain farmers, especially the organic farmer. But we know that their harvest will be affected a lot by the pests, especially the insect, the fruit borer. So there is another method that always been practiced by the conventional or the traditional farmer. They were using the chemical to control it. So this is one of the, if you look in this picture, this is an example that common being practiced. Through the chemical control, there are three types of insecticide that we are using it, and through the method to control is through the contact, or through the stomach, or systemic. So there are mainly three types of pesticide that we've been using or being practiced. So let's see on the contact poison, they actually directly been sprayed to the pest and absorb over all the bodies that kill the insects. Another one is the stomach poison, whereby this is always been used as a bait to kill the animals after they digest it or they suck it. So systemic poison actually, normally they will spray on the surface of the plants and absorb into the tissue, and later on you will feed by the pest, and then they will kill the pest. So of course, another method that also people will be using it is oil, whereby they spray to the insects, whereby the oil will cover, and actually it will cause the suffocate the insect and they kill the insect. So let's see how this pesticide act against the pest. If let's say that we look on the systemic poison, this one is through the by eating or sucking and chew by the plant, chew the plant, and this will kill the insect. So the second one is the contact poison, whereby either the insect walk on the plant and they're touching on it, that also will kill them. Or when we directly spray, also can kill the insects. And by the oil one actually is they will block they block from the insect from breath that actually killing them. So normally farmer will always practice is calendar spraying. That's mean that they will spray weekly or maybe 2 weeks one, 3 weeks one. So this spraying method always being practiced by the farmer, and they do it regularly. And the way of this is prevent the pest and disease, and it's quite effective. But of course, when you do it regular, it's quite expensive and wasteful. And of course, another one that we are concerned is harmful to the environment. So let's we do some comparison between the advantage and disadvantage using the pesticide and the chemical control one. First is that if you're using chemical control, majority of the fruit actually can be maintained, the outlook, appearance will be quite nice. And usually we know that this is very cost effective because we can get very high percentage of good grade fruits. And the response is very quick. We can see that we can actually can control the insect quite easily. And this will of course increase the productions. And also we know that for export, you cannot have any defect, especially a fruit that infected by the insect. So this one, we can fulfill the requirement for the export. Of course, this is also fulfill the market. But the disadvantage is that we are facing another problem is the residue of the pesticide. So of course, also is also pollution to the environment. So higher for calendar spraying is also involve high cost. So another way that we also accidentally will kill a lot of beneficial insect. So if possible, also we need to be very careful when we're using this chemical control. And also the most worried, also we are worried that we can the pest may be the resistant below when we use the pesticide regularly, and of course harmful to the user. We know that the operator actually sometimes they are not wearing properly the so-called equipment so to prevent from themselves from the chemicals. So this is some of the guides that we can use to control the pesticide. Actually, the most significant is that when you see the threshold of application should be only applied when there is a significant effect. So if possible, try to look and use for the class 4, whereby this is a low toxicity category. And also try to use also different pesticides that have different mode of actions. If possible, don't only use a single type or same action only. Sometimes, you know, in market that we when you try to look for the chemicals, even different brand, but all the AI is the same one. So try to look for different AI also, and different category of pesticide, not the same family. And the fifth one, try to avoid. We can also try to avoid the pesticide reduce the pesticide residue, or minimum the pesticide residue by we prohibited the period of harvesting, or in Malay we call it the tempo dilarang mengutik hasil, the TDMH, that been recommended by the MOA and pesticide board, of course also by the company that are supplying. So possible, try to follow the recommendation of usage, and also the maximum of the this frequency of spraying. And one of the most important, I think, that everyone should do is please read the label and follow the instruction before we use it, because this also can help us to understand more regarding the pesticide that we are using. So let's do some study on the pesticide that, for example, this Aron is a class 4, and actually this is a stomach poison, and also it's good to use to control the especially the moth, egg and larvae. So the kind of the last of spraying before harvesting, it will be 14 days, but I will recommend that we keep it 3 weeks before harvest spray. That will be a good idea. So this is an insecticide that we are using to control, especially for the moth egg, the Muderia eggs. And let's look for another examples. Class 2 one, the yellow color of the class. This one actually is contact, you know, for stomach poison, and this is more broad spectrum, so whereby we can use to control more many type of insects. And harvesting period, stop spraying only 7 days before harvest, but I would like to recommend that, of course, we keep it longer a bit. That will be better. So this is again is a insecticide. Compatibility. So we know that when we use any chemicals, sometimes it can mix well with the. Of course, we don't only use single pesticide. Normally, we'll mix fungicide, we'll mix with foliar fertilizer, and we mix with other things. So we need also understand that whether this is compatibility or not. If not, then sometimes it will cause scorching. So try to do some study before we mix it. So of course, also in pest control, another important part that we should focus also is soil sterilizations, because of you know that especially for those newly planted that you are planted in the rubber estate, termite will be one of your major issue. So if you are using replanting from the rubber estate, please do some treatment on termites, and of course also Phytophthora. Phytophthora actually will be anyway that actually is one of the major issue on durian cultivation. Is the #1 killer in the durian industry. So this is an example that termite not only attack on the bottoms, but it also can go up to the tree. So this is an example that the termite actually infected on the big tree, and if the big tree actually have some rotten wood, they actually will go in and attack it. And let's see that on the durian pest, how many type of problem that we are facing. So if you look on the first picture, this one is Rhizoctonia. So normally Rhizoctonia will happen when raining and then hot days come followed by hot days, and then raining again. Then the infection of Rhizoctonia outbreak will be quite bad. Of course, we need to do some preventions and spraying. But tonight I will not touch detail because our focus is still on these fruit borer and canker. And if you have young leaves just flushing out, silage will be your another issue. And this silage only attack on the young leaf. It doesn't attack on the olive because they actually is a sucking insect. And this one is Shigada. Actually, is it only attack on the young shoot and the lay eggs on the young branch that will kill the young shoots. Even though it's not so so bad compared to the silage and Rhizoctonia, but it also affect the growth of the tree. Mealybugs. Mealybugs actually will cause our fruit turn yellow, turn black color, and we cannot sell because of outlook. And also for the export, we really need make sure our fruit is clean, free from pests. This one actually is a fruit borer, the outer skin one. This one actually is Phytophthora. This one will only happen quite regularly if during the fruit rapid development, 2 weeks before the harvesting or before the fruit drop, and if it rain non-stop, normally the outbreak of Phytophthora will be quite bad. This one is a common Muderia that actually the moth lay eggs on the fruit, and then after that they fit into the fruits. Squirrel also another issue. Certain farm actually they have a big issue on the squirrel, but if you are planted in the area with your surrounding all your neighbor also durian, squirrel will be minimum because everyone share the squirrel already. So attack by the squirrel will be reduced. Termites also one of the issue that especially for the rubber extract that you are planted from rubber extract, so that make sure that we do some sanitation or soil sterilizations. Phytophthora is the #1 killer, especially for durian. And if we take the action a little bit late, highly possible that our tree killed by Phytophthora is very high. Another one is this caterpillar feeding on the leaf of the durian. Sometimes when the outbreak comes, it may finish your leaf in a very short times. And of course, also snail, another issue. Of course, we know that durian have more than this, actually have many more, but tonight we just focus on 2 first, and then in the future, we can share more on others. So let's see that what should we do when during durian come to flowering. This is quite important. So at this moment, when just initiate the flower, please do not spray anything. Why? The reason is very simple. If you spray any pesticide, my worry is that sometimes the pesticide may scorch the flower buds or may injure the flower buds. Or when we do spraying, physical damage, especially the water when we are spraying it too strong, it may also damage the flower buds. So at this moment, we can just stop spraying for a week, let the flower come out. So once the flower come to this stage, to until the before antithesis, this is a stage whereby after flowering or initiate the flower, actually the durian tree will get weaker. And this is a time whereby the canker or Phytophthora will attack on the tree. So what we need to do is we need to increase the immunity of the tree so that the Phytophthora attack will be very minimum, so we can reduce the attack. Pest control at this stage is we can just spray some as a prevention. So this is some recommendation that what I've been practice also. First week after the initial flower, you can use 1 liter of Alanda, half kg of Abado, 1 liter of CBK, 1 liter of BioB2 to spray on the leaf. The reason we use 4 is that 1, we want to control the pest. The second one is that we want to control the Phytophthora. Abado actually is a quite broad spectrum fungicide. whereby CBK and BioB2 is to supply sufficient calcium, boron, potassium, so that our flower will be strong, sufficient of that to ensure that pollination, when antithesis, the flower has sufficient of calcium. Followed by the second week, we actually can use 1 liter of Aron. This one we want to control the eggs or to control the larvae. And then followed by 1 liter of P400. This one to increase the immunity of the tree. And 1 liter of the green light. This is organic magnesium. And then 1 liter of the fruit 128 to enhance the flowering. So followed by 3 weeks, you will repeat again the week 1. And then 4th week, you repeat again on the second week 1. So come to this stage, whereby you come to the antithesis time. This is one of the most important time. Please stop spraying any pesticide again. This again, you want to avoid the flower being blown, the pollen being blown away, or any contamination of the pollen that will decrease the pollinations. So what you need to do is that very simple, stop spraying, and if possible, do some manual pollinations. And this manual pollination, we can do it on the night time after 8 to 11. Ask the worker to, using the brush, softly touch on the flower and then just move up and down, so that this pollination, actually the bats also, they come go and harvest nectar. So the body actually will be actually moving around, that also help to pollinate the flower. So we know that impossible that every farm being visited by these bats. So what we need to do is we can use manual pollination to help pollinate the flower, so that we can have better pollinations, and also the fruit shape will be more rounded. So come to this stage is the most crucial stage, whereby from the size of 5 cents going to about 2 kg fruit. This is a time whereby the control of the pest is very important to ensure that we can control the borer, and also to focus that we make sure that there will be no infections. If you are controlled, we don't take initiative to control it, we maybe lose the harvest. So we must give priority during this stage. So come to the end stage, 2 weeks, at least 2 weeks before harvesting, please stop all the pesticide. If you want to continue keep on spraying, you can continue spraying for the foliar, or you can go for the this organic pesticide, or using those BT, the bacteria one that actually infect on the fruit borer and kill them. So try to look, or you can also go for some wood vinegar, neem oil. Those actually have minimum or no pesticide residue. So let's look on the, if let's say we feel to control mealybugs, you will start from when the fruit is young, they will start lay eggs, and then they start to infect, and then go bigger and bigger. So at the end, we not only in Malaysia we have a black thorn durian, but we also have a black durian. So the whole fruit turn blackish. So this is especially the mealybugs will produce large amount of honey, and this is make the very good environment for the black mold to grow. So you discover the whole fruit turn blackish color due to the honey that produced by the mealybugs. So if you can control the mealybug, we can settle the black mold issue. But of course, the fruit can be eaten because inside they are still quite good. But if the outer like that, it's very hard to sell. So of course, we look on the another issue is the Muderia species, fruit borer. Fruit borer actually is one of the major pests in durian also, whereby they can attack from the young fruit, kill harvesting until the fruit ripening. So if we don't take the proper actions, this fruit borer actually will give us a big headache, and a lot of fruit will fail to harvest, or Sometimes we even cannot sell the fruits. This is the Muderia. The look is very ugly, not like normal our butterfly. They are quite nice, quite beautiful. But whereby for moth, normally moth they don't have colorful, and they are just quite ugly of outlook, and they actually always looking for some fruits to attack, especially the moth. And let's understand a little bit of how this moth cycle and how they actually attack on durian fruits. Normally, the moth will lay eggs and hatch on the immature durians, and then this the larvae will burrow into the fruits, and then inside they will feed around and develop the adults. Not only this caterpillar will come up from the fruits and then drop to the ground, and they turn up pupae, and then waiting for next season, then they'll come again. So if possible, if any fruit that attacked by the moth, please dispose it. If possible, collect and then dig a hole and bury it with the soil or burn it. We want to try to reduce the this infection in the future. If not, it will multiply again and then again and again. Then it causes a lot of losses to us. So if we fail to control, we can see that the losses. Sometimes the whole fruit gone, but sometimes partial gone. If the partial, we can just harvest it and turn it to be paste and pulp. Now, luckily that we can actually convert to pulp and paste. But in last time, actually, it's all converted to tempoyak. And last time tempoyak is very cheap, but today tempoyak also not cheap. Today's tempoyak also the price also quite high, selling I think around 60 to 80 ringgit per kg. So today tempoyak also is not cheap tempoyak already. So if you want to eat ikan pating tempoyak, and we need to pay higher. So it is recommended to use insecticide to kill the eggs and larvae. Most of the time we are focusing on the how to control the caterpillar, but we know that if we can control the eggs and larvae, then the caterpillar issue will be minimum. So normally when the durian fruit reaching the longan fruit size, I think around about 10 cent or even smaller a bit, then we need to start the spraying to control it, because this is time whereby the moth come and lay eggs. So that this is the right time to control it. So controlling the eggs will be an ideal way. And of course, also you can substitute with sorry. Of course, also we can substitute with Bacillus BT of insecticide when the fruit comes to mature, so that we can minimize or we can reduce the pesticide residue. This also when we want to ensure that. Of course, I think everyone also see in the Facebook some news of the Thailand fruit being rejected by China due to the over of pesticide. So in Malaysia, so we should take some precautions and also preemptive measurements to ensure that we don't have this problem in future. Because when China going to develop in the future, they will be tighten the this pesticide residue. They will look into it more seriously. So in Malaysia, I think everyone should play the part to ensure that we want to produce a safe and healthy durian to eat, not only for export but also for local consumption also. But of course, among all the fruits and vegetables, the most safe to consume actually is durian, because the husk is very thick. So we actually have a husk to protect the insecticide to go into the fruits. So if you compare the vegetable and other fruits, I think durian is actually one of the safest. So to control the pests, we know that they are not only attacking on the fruit inside, but sometimes the outer layer of the skin also, the insect will attack. If you attack outside layer also, it also cannot be exported, because in China they are quite strict. That make sure that it's pest free, and the look must be nice. Even you can look on the first fruit, they only attack on the outer layer, but we cannot sell already. This one, the grade will drop to B or C. It cannot go to A. So we actually can lose a lot of money due to these infections. It's only on the surface. And normally we know that most people don't do fruit cleaning. They will keep as much as possible. This is not a good practice or not the right practice. You can look on it that the insect attack, especially when we spray the insecticide, because the fruit are actually clumped together or crowded together. Sometimes it blocks from the insecticide to reach, or the height of the tree also contribute. So if possible, if you look on this picture whereby we do the fruit cleaning, so most of the fruit also rounded, and also we have less of these pest infections. Let's look on the factor actually why caused or attacked by the pest. First is that most of the time we don't do fruit thinning, and fruit thinning actually is quite important to ensure that we don't have the broken branches because of over fruit, the loading on the branches. And of course, also when loading too much on the tree, it will also cause Phytophthora. So we also make sure that we do fruit. Make sure that we do pruning on the branches, so that we make sure that we can actually make inside there is very clear for us to spray any pesticide, so that we can control easily. And of course, also type of durian. For example, durian like 101 Li or D24, the thorn actually is around, for example, 101, the thorn, if we count it, there will be around 1,006. If a D24 will be 1,002, and Musang King about 700 plus. So this is information provided by the Jabatan Pertanian. Charlie give it to me. So we know that if your thorn is more on the durian, actually there is more place for the this moth to hide. You see, they can hide the eggs. So we know that each type of durian also the way of control is a little bit different. And of course also the weather. If today you spray and then rain, then the effect of the insecticide also very minimal or be washed away. So weather also playing important parts. And of course the environment. If the environment is surrounded by durians, so if any outbreaks of insect, especially the moth, Muderia, then it's very hard to control. This one farmer approached me one time before. They lost about 300K because of the majority, more than 50% of his fruit are infected by this Muderia. So another one is farm management. It's quite important how we manage a farm. Farm management actually play a very, especially like the rotten fruit, we need to collect and then dig a hole and bury it. This is quite important. Of course, another method is the pesticide application methods. What type of method are we using? Are we using mist blower by the air or using the power spray? If let's say your tree is not tall, using mist blower is quite efficient, and the chemical using also little because of the air. When it blow, it can reach the coverage is quite uniform. Whereby if you're using the spraying one, you must make sure that because it's only through the force of spraying, but not like air blow. Mist blower actually, when the air actually blow out, actually it can cover all the whole fruits. So type of application method is quite important, and the application frequency. So if you apply once a week, twice a week, or 2 weeks one, 3 weeks one, the result also will be different. So type of pesticide also quite important. If possible, try to use pesticide that don't come from the same family. Sometimes it's a different brand, but same family. And also different action of mold. Not only looking for stomach poison contact, or we can switch to systemic. But normally, I will not prefer systemic because it will left the residue inside for some time. So try to look for stomach or contact. So if you look on the picture, this is also part of the contribution. If the tree is too tall, so when you want to spray out, you see that the arrow they're moving out. This is also sometimes you cannot reach on the top part. That's why some of the top part fruit actually is easily infected by this moth or the fruit borer. So what we need to do actually is pruning. especially for those newly planted ones, we need to control the height. At the moment also, we try to look, maybe we want to reduce the height or below 30 feet or even lower than that, so that in future, spraying will be, we can fully mechanize it. Because we know that at the moment, I think everyone are facing the worker shortage. And with the MCO, we even cannot bring in the workers. The worker shortage will be one more even critical. So in the future, we need to look into how can we maximum mechanizations, or we can using partial of the reduce the intensify the depending on the labor force. So we need to look for alternative. So if your tree are lower, spraying will be more easier. So of course, also sometimes you see that the spraying method, as I just now mentioned, this is example whereby the droplet water is too coarse and it will cause physical damage when you spray, especially the nozzle head is too close to the flower. You can see that they're actually hitting on the flower and the flower have some damage on that. You can see the picture. So this is also part of the problem. That's why during the flower antithesis, if possible, stop spraying, because this is my worry that actually it will cause injury. So after finishing on touching on the Mudaria or the fruit borers, let's go for another quite important one, canker, or we got it, the fruit canker. You can look on this picture. The fruit canker will attack on the fruit, especially before drop. So when the tissue come to soft down a bit, and Phytophthora actually infected on the fruits, or even you can some small spot, some are bigger spot. So this is one of the major worry, especially during the raining season, and this one will be happen especially on the flat land if the drainage are not doing they are not doing a good drainage for the farm. And of course, also there are many methods contribute to it. Let's look on the this canker, that if we enlarge it and look on the microscope, this is how the canker look like. So normally we know that when the flat land, the water table is too high, soil moisture situation already. So normally the root will start infected by the canker. So, and this one will transfer up to the fruits, and you can see that this is the farm whereby when I visited that farm, almost about 70 to 80% of the fruit are spoiled by the canker. So we really need to be very careful. And this also, not only the canker actually infected, but also part of it is because of the fruit a lack of calcium, and the preventions and also spraying of some fungicide doing too late already, or not doing the prevention earlier. So we need to look into it, especially now we know that this is a kind of reminder to everyone that now this year and last year actually is very heavy rain, and we expected that this pattern of weather will go till end of the year. So please take some preventions before this canker attack on our fruit on this season. So it's quite crucial for everyone to make sure that to reduce these canker infections. So what actually the factor contribute? First, of course, the main one actually is weather. If the weather is good, then this canker infection will be minimum. Of course, you know that when during the dropping time, if keep on raining, then we know the quality will be lousy. But when come to dropping time, it's a very dry, and then the durian is very good. During the rapid development, we need plenty of water, but come to dropping, we need to stop watering and no rain. But of course, we cannot control. And the best part actually is next time we go for in-house planting durian. That will be the good idea. I think in Malaysia, nobody willing to start yet, but I think this is a good start for R&D. And topography, if our land is flat, of course, canker will be more serious. But if you are doing the good drainage, then it should not be an issue. And of course, I've been seeing some of the hilly one also be infected by canker, especially the last 2 seasons in Sungai Chalek there. some of the grower that mentioned to me that they actually having this fruit canker quite seriously, even in the hilly. So means that their nutrient application is imbalanced. Prevention are not do it in the early stage. So of course also involved in the orchard management. So what type of management we practice? Are we keeping the grass? Are we maintain our soil pH? And what type of soil? If you're planting in the sandy area, then canker will be not serious. But if you're planting certain in the clay area, whereby the soil aeration is not good, then this canker will be quite serious. Because for durian, they are quite sensitive toward the water. And durian tree, especially the root, require very good soil ventilations. Of course, also nutrient imbalance is one of them. Normally, I think farmer always using NPK lah. We cannot deny that everyone practice NPK. And NPK, I always mention that NPK stands for nasi putih kosong. You cannot only give plain rice only for the tree. You must give balanced nutrient. Something like human also, we need balanced nutrient to live healthy and strong. So normally, most people don't focus so much on the calcium. And sometimes calcium may be applied are not being absorbed, especially those powder one is too coarse and cannot be absorbed. You need to go for the finer one, or especially the liquid type. Of course, some people will go for like calcium nitrate, but just bear in mind, when we apply calcium nitrate, we are not only supply calcium, but we also supply nitrogen. So this is also during the time, it's not that suitable. Of course, also we need to look, another one is a soil acidity. So make sure that our pH is correct. If our soil acidity is not below than 5.5, make sure that we do some liming. Because if below than 5.5, the uptake of nutrient also be reduced. This is an example why the fruit drop. You can see the water during a rainy. This is, I purposely stay in the farm to take this video. This is happening when the rain non-stop. That's why Phytophthora attack. Or you can see that after rain, the left and right picture, the tree almost submerged under the water. So that's why we need to do the mounding. That is, I've been promoting for many times and for a long time already. I think back 16 years back, when I started promoting the mounding, I think a lot of people against the idea, and many people not only against it and even promote the other way around. Until lately, people start to accept it because of they seeing that Thailand been doing it. Thailand only do it for 8 years to 9 years. I think the oldest one. But for in Malaysia part, I've been promoting this more than 16 years. I get this idea from mounding is through the vegetable farm. If you look on the vegetable farm, people when they plant vegetable, they will raise up the bed, right? Why? Drainage. So for durian, this is an idea. So of course, I know that certain people still cannot accept the mounding idea because most of them are not planted yet or not practice it. That's why they're against it. But once you do it, you accept it. So we need to give some time for this some of the farmer to digest the idea until when the more people start to do the mounding, then more people will to do it. So it's always like that. Something like in Cameron Highlands. The first one who do the shelter for tomato, everyone laugh. But after 40 years, 50 years, if anyone in Cameron Highlands planting tomato without shelter, then everyone laugh. So this is again like durian also. Anything we start new, new idea, of course, some people will support, some people will against it. So let's look how to diagnose the canker disease. This is the healthy roots of durian tree, whitish color, very big and fat. This is what we want. And you look on the soil, is organic and quite loosened. This is a requirement for the roots to grow for durian tree. This is healthy roots. This one actually is a rotten roots. The color is blackish color, and most of the root actually is fragile and cracked. And easily you can see that very little whitish color one. So we just need to check is scrape the surface of the bark of the tree, so we can see that whether the color of the any different color. If they're infected by the canker, it will be reddish color. So for farmer that if you want to have a healthy roots, you must make sure that we have a very good soil. This one I think I will share it next month. Just give some of you tips that next month I will share on the cover crops. Another invitation that asked me to share regarding the cover crop and how to maintain the soil. So this is another one good for everyone to learn how to manage your farm. This also will help you to reduce your problem of canker. So you can see that the canker not only attack on the roots, but it also attack on the stem, or even can grow up to the branches. And if you don't take the action immediately, you can see the leaves start dropping, then reaching the stage 4. Then there is something like cancer, final stage already, and the tree will die. And normally, those trees are dying is very simple. The soil moisture inside is too bad, and this is only happening always at the year end, raining non-stop, and then come to dry spell, you can see the sign of the tree dying. Or sometimes the tree bearing too many fruit, overloading, that also can kill the tree. And another part is also the seedling. Of course, the variety also some of that, and also the type of soil also affecting. Canker disease actually can attack on many areas. For example, the roots, the dead tree, stem rot, foot rot, and this will significantly reduce the yield. So canker actually we need to prevent it from early beginning, and the best part actually is we need to enhance the immune system by make sure that we have balanced nutrients, spraying some of the so-called fertilizer that can increase the immunity of the tree. So this is another example of the fungicide that we can also use it. Just want to share with that. This is a class 3. It's a blue color, blue color cord, and this one is a systemic, and it's a broad spectrum fungicide. So we can use it to control canker and also others of the fungus. So let's say if you have some leaf fungus, also we can using this abado to spray. Of course, the price is a bit slightly higher, but it's worth it because of broad spectrum. Then also the recommendation is 14 days stop before harvesting. For safe part, we can actually stop it 2 weeks before harvesting, and then you go for P400. That will be quite safe because P100 have no residue at all. So this is fungicide. So this is one of the recommendations that you can take it as your reference. This is a week 1 after flower antithesis. So you can use 1 liter of Alanda, half kg of Abado, 1 liter of CBK, 1 liter of BioB2, plus 1,000 liter water, spraying for 50 to 100 trees. Make sure that we spray it thoroughly, uniformly cover the whole tree and the fruits. So second week we rotate with Aron, 1 liter of P400, 1 liter of green light, 1 liter of fruit 128. The reason we use 128 is to enhance the flower. Then followed by third week, we repeat again, Alanda, Abado, CBK, BioB2. In the fourth week, we start with Aron, P400, green light, and fruit 428. This is time we want to boost up the fruit grow already. So this is one of the recommendations that you can consider. From this stage to this stage. And then come to 5th week, 6, 7, 8. We are still using almost the same formula. Of course, this is for general recommendations. If your farm, sometime when they get direct touch with me, I will recommend according to tailor-make to your farm, the conditions. This is one of the examples that you can use it. But of course, if personally in touch with me, some of them I will recommend will be more tailor-made to suit your requirement. So the 5th week, 6th week, the same also be repeat Alanda, Abado, CBK, BioB2, and plus 1,000 liter of water. 6th week using Aron again, 1 liter of P400 green light and 428. The reason we spray green light is that we want to make sure our outer layer, the husk color, will be greenish color, not yellowish. Sometimes we found out that most of the durian are yellowish color. This is due to the lack of magnesium or not enough chlorophyll that cause the color of the fruit turn yellowish. So when the fruit turn yellowish, selling outlook will be not so nice. We want is look green and dark green. If your fruit look light green, then that is indicator that your N is too high and the fruit quality will not so good. Dark green means your nutrient balance. So actually, when you handle more, you will learn about how to select a good fruits also. So come to the 9, 10, 11, 12 weeks. This is time we should stop spraying pesticide. So we go for more environment friendly or zero pesticide residue like Bacillus thuringiensis, P400, aminopure, and CBK. The reason we use BT because BT have no residue, and we need to enhance the immune system of the durian tree towards the canker. So P400 is the time we spray. Normally, we found out that after fruiting, the durian tree easily infected by canker. So this is time before, during the dropping season, we have no time to spray because even collecting fruit also, we are actually having problem. So before the fruit drop, we do some homework. Then after only, then we start again. So aminopure actually will be more for flavor, color, aroma. So we go for aminopure. And CBK, we still maintain the spreadsheet. We want to make sure that the fruit have sufficient calcium, not easily cracked. At the moment, 9 weeks, 10, 11, 12, using CBK is to make sure that we have the fruit have more solid and the husk not easily cracked. And the one you're using fruit 128 is to make sure that we have a more nice color, more creamy, more flavor on the fruits. Okay. So this is some introductions just for revisions. Aranda will be using as a general insecticide to cover all the insects. So whereby Aron will be using to control the eggs or to kill the insecticide eggs and larvae. So this is quite important that if let's say want to control on the pest, to control the eggs is quite good. Whereby Abado will go for general fungicide and so to control the canker. Whereby P400 to strengthen the immunity of the tree. And then BioB2 is good for pollinations, and CBK will be more on the setting and shape of the fruits. Whereby aminopure we're using to improve the quality and aroma, and fruit 128 will be for the color and of course the quality, and 428 will be for the quality and for the fruit grow. You want to make the fruit bigger size. Using 428 is quite a good practice. So this is an example whereby if you do good pruning and thinning, the fruit will be not all crowd together. They will be well spread evenly. So and lastly, we want to have a very good fruit, especially like Musang King. This is D13. This is 101. This is red prawn. So all this is a good quality durian that we want to produce. So we can have, if you have a direct sell to the market, you have a better price because of quality. So thank you so much, and hope to see everyone again. So if you have any issue on durian, the newly planted one, you can always contact Miss Home, my secretary, that you can register to attend my durian training. And if you have any question regarding the pesticide, you can always go to Avancia. They are more expert than me. For the I see some of the participants here are my participant on the durian training. So for the second level one, I will try to do it as soon because I'm still collecting the picture. I've been promising to do it for so long, everyone waiting for it, but because of time and also the picture not enough, I would like to collect sufficient so that only come the second level, everyone can learn it more easier and have more picture to learn. So thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. If
Thank
any
you,
question, we
Mr.
can
Lee.
share.
Thank you, Sifu Lim. Thank you. So we are now going into this Q&A session lah. But before that, if you found the lecture is meaningful, useful, and knowledgeable, please like our video, share to your friends. And then if you want us to do more lecture with Mr. Lim, such as tonight, please put your comment in the comment box. Please put 6. Put many 6, as many as you can. The more 6, then we will consider to do more. All right.
The more share you put, then it can motivate me to do more.
I
So please do
see.
share. Thank you.
Okay, so Mr. Lim, can we start with the Q&A?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me look at this Facebook first. Okay, just for your information, we have more than 130 participants in Zoom and more than 80 just now, maximum 80 in Facebook. So total is about 200 plus tonight. Okay, so the first question from Ince Buhanuddin Jainu. Mr. Lim, may I know what type of oil you are referring to?
Oil you can actually using white oil, part of that, or you can use neem oil. You can use many type in the markets. Yeah.
So there are many type of oil. Okay.
Yeah.
So Miss Madeline Sangjin, hello Sifu. If iron is detected in water sample of durian, is it good or is it bad?
Normally, actually, not so critical. You just need to do some liming. Because certain area the iron is very high. I've been seeing some area the iron is very high in raw also, especially in the Cerro Batu Talam area, and durian produce still okay. It's only that when you see a lot of iron, make sure that the area you do it a good drainage. That will be helping your tree to grow well.
Okay, a question from Mr. Tan Chi Kian. New shoots die and dry up before maturing. Is it an attack by pests or deficiency of certain minerals or other reasons?
Young tree or old tree?
Yeah, Mr. Tan Chi Kian, can you let us know young
Okay.
tree or old tree? Yeah.
Okay, normally you can see that whether it's sporadic in the farm or whole farm. If whole farm actually is infected by insect, especially psyllid. If sporadic, maybe your root have problem, your aeration have problems, you have canker issue. So we need to look into the young tree, old tree, and also whether it's sporadic or whole farm.
Okay, sorry, I forgot to stop your sharing, Mr. Lim. Hold on. I think you can stop sharing. Okay, then I put you in the spotlight.
Yeah.
Okay, so question from Mr. Pang Jun Fong. Oh, Mr. Pang, I think many days he joined us.
My student.
When your schedule mentioned about 1 liter to be used, does it mean that to one plant or you are talking about 1 acre?
We're talking about 50 to 100 tree, depending on the size of the tree. If you are bigger tree, maybe you use 10 to 20 liter of the dilution or spraying.
Okay.
Yeah.
So question from Nubani RC. Treatment and prevention canker pokok durian. I think that one already talked. It's abado and other thing. Then a question from Mr. Wang Tek Chang. Sifu, can you advise how to treat the young durian tree during raining season? Okay,
you can using 2-3 methods. First is to ensure that your soil pH is at the right pH. Second is that make sure that you have a proper drainage. Third is that make sure you do the spraying not only on leaf but also on the soil treatment. For example, use abado and then alternate with P400, spraying on the leaf and spraying on the soil. So this is part of it, quite important. And during the rainy season, don't put too much of N fertilizer, and increase a little bit of your P fertilizer source. try to look for balanced nutrient and make sure that it's not water soaked. That's one of the key issue.
Okay. So a question from Mr. Dean Abu is our sharer. Mr. Lim, can we use fogging machine for insecticide and fungicide? Will it affect the fruit and leaves as diesel is the main ingredient for fogging? What is the best mixture?
Fogging can be used, no issue, because of that one is very minimum. In fact, fogging, the most best practice is using during the evening around 6 to 7, whereby they is targeted to spray on the pests when they come out.
Okay, then I think I'll go to the Zoom lah. Have to fair face when
Okay.
I'll go to the Zoom. Okay, so Woon Long Lai, question from Woon Long Lai. Our baby trees is affected like the first picture. How to treat? I think this when this picture this question come out is regarding the many photo one, the bulat. The first picture is a Phytophthora.
Yeah. Which first picture? I can't get it.
There's a lot of disease and pest. The one that overview, and the first circle, yeah.
First circle, okay. That is Phytophthora.
Yeah.
So Phytophthora actually you need to spray before the fruit reaching mature, and also make sure they have sufficient calcium and trace element. They also make sure that your soil acidity correct the soil pH. That will be helping you to reduce the Phytophthora, and also against drainage is very important.
Okay, question from Mr. Joshua Chong. How to organic control durian tree mites and territip and chemically?
Okay, organic. I'm not actually organic expert on durian control because of how to say that. So far, I never see any farm using organic methods successfully. But we using mixed with organic, then it's okay. But you ask me on that, I'm not really, because organic you really need a very experienced expertise. In Malaysia, we are still very new, so we need to learn together to develop this method.
Okay.
Organic. Yeah.
So Muhammad Azan Abdullah, Sifu Lim, 1,000 liter water, how many pump? Oh, I think just now we answer already.
Yeah,
40 to 50
for
to 100.
50 to 100 from fruiting tree.
Okay, then we have Louis. Some of my durian trees are 6 years old but never produce fruit. Ayya, Louis, how come?
Okay, this one will be on your fertilizing and also your, how to say that, your farm practice, and also how regular you fertilize it, how much you fertilize, what type of fertilizer. That will be many things. I think this one we will touch it on in future on the fertilizer, or you can text to me Song, then I will answer you on that, because it takes something need to do some understand the whole practice before I can only give the comment. You need to know how much you put fertilizer and what type of fertilizer you apply. Yeah.
So just now, Mr. Lim did share about Miss Hong number. Later you can contact Miss Hong on that.
Yeah.
All right. Then question from Darren Kui. I missed the part about pH. Can you please clarify? Soil acidity should be less than pH 5.5. Liming is to make soil more acidic.
No. The good, more suitable pH for the durian tree is 5.5 to 6.5. Below 5.5, we need to do liming. So above 5.5 to 6.5 is okay. But normally Malaysian soil actually acidic. They were around 4 to 4.5 normally when you measure it. So we need to do some soil correction of the pH.
So liming is to make soil less acidic, actually.
Yes. To improve,
increase the pH value.
increase the pH value to 5.5 to 6.5.
That's right.
But also don't do it to 7. It's not good. Most of your trace element been blocked already.
Okay. So question from Kai Lim. How to do soil ventilation? Yeah.
Okay, I think this one I will talk more detail by next month on how to manage your farm, especially on cover crop. Then how to improve your soil ventilation, because you need a lot of combining a few methods together. So I think if possible tonight we focus on the pest and disease.
So yeah, so you guys know already, this is the advertisement. We might have another round with Mr. Lim.
Yeah.
Doing okay. So Luis asking, oh, where can I buy Abado? Luis, I'll PM you later. Huh? And then Three lost Abel also. Okay. Luis, oh, Luis, many questions. How to prevent the fruits from falling?
How to prevent fruit from falling? Make sure that during the flower, after flower antithesis, the first most important is if any flushing new leaf, fruit abortion is very high. So we want to make sure that any fertilizer you put, you will not stimulate the growth of the young shoot. If a young shoot growing up, then your fruit abortion is very high. You need to increase your calcium, increase your boron, increase your potassium, increase a little bit of phosphate, and possible cut down of nitrogen, and stop watering. That is a quite important part.
Okay. Kevin Lau asking, necessary, is it, I mean, is it necessary to do calendar spraying for Abado for prevention purposes?
Yes, during the fruit development stage. And also after fruiting season, to make sure that our tree don't get sick. After that, you can go for when only needed or when necessary only.
So means the prevention is always better.
Yeah, prevention is better
Okay.
than cure.
So Miss Penny Wong. Hi, Mr. Lim. I'm
Hi.
Penny Wong, a master student at the University of Nottingham. I think this one at the Broga, yeah.
Yeah.
Doing research on durian. I would
Oh.
like to know, are there any authorities or governing bodies who are overlooking farmers' usage of pesticide? I know there is my gap where auditing will be done by DOA, but what about farmers who do not have my gap?
Actually, in Malaysia, we still need some time to get the cooperation from the farmer. Of course, when you even apply for my gap, then there is a regulation we need to follow. But at the moment, actually, we still very loose that even some of the farmer also don't know where to access to DOA also. So we need some time to educate. So actually, online is one of the thing that we can start to do some educations, because of in Malaysia, the industry is still new, especially in export. So we need to work together to make sure that we can ensure that also durian is healthy and safety to eat. Yeah.
Okay, question from Andrew Yun. Yesterday, from Bentong one, the one jaga monyet one. Sifu, how to build a good molding? Molding is it?
How to do a good mounting? You need to feel preparations. Make sure that the height is correct, 5 feet or 4 to 5 feet, and the width is actually 8 to 10. And then also make sure that your planting distance correct. I think the mounding one we will go for another session, because if not, we have not enough time to answer all.
Yeah.
So I think still again we focus on the pest and disease.
Okay, so question from Tristan Vijaya. Sensei, may I ask how to take care of durian when it is on growing phase?
Okay, you need a few combinations that you need to know. First is that drainage and irrigations, nutrients management, pest and disease management, pruning, farm management, and of course your worker. Sometimes you know everything, but your worker don't implement or partial do it. Also, that is also an issue. Or your manager, whether implement your instruction or not. and how frequent you fertilize, how regular you do P&D, whether you're using grass cutting or using spray herbicide. So please avoid using herbicide because actually it can stunt the growth. So there are many factors you need to look into it. Planting durian is look easy, dig a hole and plant, put some fertilizer, it grow. But when in the reality that planting durian is very challenging and full of problems and issue, you need really to know a lot of problem ahead. If not, you found out that after you enter this industry, you get choking.
Okay, so next question from Jeffrey Saranda. Ms. Sifu Lim, how to treat boring? I think you mean borer here. How to treat borer on tree trunk? Can it be done while major stage of fruiting?
Borer on tree trunk. Actually, you can use more concentrate and then spray on the spot whereby normally trunk borer will only attack on the infection area of canker. So you need to do two treatment together, treat the canker and the borer. Use you can use Alanda, but with more higher concentrations, plus Abado, hand on the infection area that you can control once for all.
Yeah, Alanda and Abado for the borer treatment.
Yeah, you need to use it on the more highly concentrated.
Okay, question from Ka Kui, Master Lim.
Yep.
Can we cut the tree if it is very tall, 20 meter to 25 meter?
If you want to cut the tree, make sure that your lower branches have a few lower branches. If not, it may affect your productivity. So you cannot cut one go, and when you want to cut also, you have to cut face by face. If not, the whole branches fall down. It may break your lower branches also. So you need to do it stages by stages if you want to cut it. Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Lim, how many questions more?
We give another 5.
Okay, all right. Question from Mr. Durian Evans, I think from Teringau.
Yeah.
Mr. Lim, is Trichotherma a choice to prevent canker during rainy season?
You can practice it, but you'll find out that the efficiency is have certain limits. So you can always try maybe 30% of your plant with Trichoderma, and then the rest you use chemical, and then see the how's the result come out. Then because lots of things that in market we need to try. We don't know exactly. There are so many claims in the market, so we still against for the farmer. Everything you can split to half to try and then see the efficacy. Then only you decide. And efficacy you should try give not few months, give a year to compare it. If you're good, then you proceed and then please share with me. I also want to learn because actually for me it's learning is a two-way. So the more we know, the more we don't know. So learning is always two ways. Durian, please go ahead. I know him very well.
You can PM to Mr. Lim later.
Yeah.
Okay, question from Ning. My trees are above 30 years old at tall and tall with epiphytes. Should I prune the top or remove the epiphytes?
You can cut it and remove it. Some of them, if you're not reaching, sometimes epiphyte also is actually it doesn't affect your fruiting. It's only affect our eyesight.
Okay. SS Lim elaborate on busut. That one next month. Okay. Durian Evans again. Sifu Lim mentioned so many examples of P&D in durian tonight. Can you provide the method to overcome or prevent them? Okay. He asked me to PM. No problem. Okay. Next question from Joshua Chong. Can we mix copper-based fungicides such as Elliot for canker prevention with insecticides such as Preponium?
Normally, copper will be more suitable to mix with metallacid. If you want to using copper base, using metallacid is quite effective. But to mix with lead, I think
I think Joshua misunderstood actually Elliot is not copper-based fungicide. It is other thing.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So let's move to another question.
Yeah.
Okay. Steven, what is the benefit of my gap for durian plantation? Oh, this is very important.
Okay, it's a good question.
Yeah.
It's necessary if you want to export the durian. In the future, without my gaps, your durian price may be not so good and we cannot export. So anyone, now people start to borrow the my gap from each other. So we know that we are still, Malaysia still full around with this my gap. But I want to advise everyone that please do register and go for my gap registration. It's very important that to ensure everyone fulfill the requirement for the export. If one day we are not doing it, China may put a small. Actually, now they already request, but they are not fully really enforced yet. But I hope that everyone take this opportunity and to do it now as soon as possible. When really come to the full implement, then everyone rush it and then it's too late now. Because registration for my gap takes some time. Sometimes it may take you 6 months to 1 year before you can get a mind gap. So the benefit actually in the future is the price. That's I can foresee that. So please,
Yeah, I think my gap not only important for durian, but also for the agriculture industry as a whole.
yeah.
Okay, one more last question, Sifu. So from Lawrence Lee, Sifu Lim, is the new leaf or branches are dried out very frequent? Is that a pest issue or the root having problem?
Normally will be a root having problem. If a whole farm, then it's a pest problem. If a sporadic, that's been few feet here, few feet there, then the others are okay, then that is your root problem. So you need to check your root to see whether any water soaking or water soak or any water running through the stem. That's quite important. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Sifu Lim. I think we more or less cover the Zoom question, but there's some more in the Facebook that later we can go back and respond to the question. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you very much for your participant tonight. If you like this video, please hit the like button and share to your friends. Okay, and then say if you have some suggestion for us to further improve the experience of the virtual forum. Kindly let us know as well in the comment section, or you can also email to us at info@avancia.com, and our Uru Setia already pinned our website, Facebook, and email in the chat box as well. So that's all. I think that's it for this whole week session, the virtual forum. As a representative from Avancia, I thank Sifu Lim again for doing this very meaningful, very knowledgeful taklimat lecture to everybody. We covered 3 languages, which is Mandarin, Bahasa Melayu, and also Bahasa English. So I think this is very unprecedented as well to us.
I would like to cover in Tamil, but I cannot speak Tamil. If not, I want to cover in Tamil.
Perhaps you can try to cover in Teochew or Hokkien later.
I think talk about dialect. I think is a hard time because all the terms we cannot use it. It's very difficult. Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, once again, thank you so much for Avancia to invite me. It's an honor that giving me an opportunity to share. And once again, thank you so much for every participant that joined the talks, and hope to see you soon and see you again. If you share more, give me more encouragement, and in future you can see more frequent on this sharing online. That will be good for everyone, and also we learn from each other. So the more we know, the more we don't know. And actually, farmer is my teacher again. They are good teacher and they're great teacher. The good teacher is for us to learn more, and the great teacher, they are sacrifice themselves. They do mistake for us to learn. So once again, everyone stay safe, stay at home, stay healthy. Okay, bye bye.